Hi folks, I am Becky with Enduring Finances. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are taking a look at the new Lime juicing model and how it looks in 2023 for people to be able to go out and charge and retrieve and do battery swaps for Lime scooters and electronic bikes. So a lot of things have really changed with Lime since it started back in 2017. Now primarily logistics partners and their teams are typically handling the day-to-day operations of charging and deploying and retrieving all the scooters and bikes in cities across the world, essentially. They're typically operating as a small business with either contract employees or traditional hourly employees doing the work with underneath them. So this means that if you wanted to continue to charge and juice scooters for Lime in 2023, you're going to either need to become a logistics partner or you're going to technically need to work underneath one. And that's going to depend on their model, if you can do that as an independent contractor still, or if you're going to become a traditional employee if that's what you choose to do. Now, I do want to say that this video is not about becoming a logistics partner. I've already made a couple of videos about what that looks like and how that kind of works, and I will post those up there for you to see. Today we're going to be just talking about what it would be like to start and how to do juicing for Lime in 2023. So Lime has 5 different ways that you can go ahead and earn money from them as a juicer. The first one is going to be doing battery swaps. This is where you're taking rechargeable batteries and you're just going to go swap them out for a depleted battery with scooters and bikes at location in the city. Second one is going to be charging tasks, and this is going to be typically in cities that do not have the new Gen 4 scooters. There's only a handful of them left in the United States. In other countries it might be a little bit more so, but the trend is moving towards these Gen 4 scooters and bikes. So if you are doing charge tasks, you're going to be going and picking up each individual scooter or bike, taking it to a set location where you either charge it or a warehouse has chargers set up, and then redeploying those scooters and bikes back into the city once they are completely charged. The third way you can earn money is move tasks, where you're going to essentially be relocating scooters and bikes that are in not the greatest location for customer base to centralized locations throughout cities and areas where customers are more likely to find them, typically in pairs of 3s. The fourth way that you can go ahead and earn money for Lime is retrieving scooters and bikes from the city. Now these are typically going to be scooters and bikes that need to be serviced. Maybe they have a flat tire, they're broken, or they just need a standard checkup. And you're going to be picking them up from various locations in the city and taking them into the Lime warehouse, or the Lime base as they call it, to be serviced and redeployed. And speaking of deploying, that is the 5th way that you can earn money, and that is by picking up scooters that are brand new or they've been serviced or they're ready to redeployed out into the area from that same warehouse or Lime hub, Lime base, out into the public for customers to use. So those are the 5 ways that you can earn money: charging scooters, doing battery swaps, moving them, deploying them, and retrieving those scooters and bikes. Typically, I mentioned earlier, a city is going to be primarily either doing battery swaps or they're going to be charging. There's very little overlap where they are doing both at the same time. There are a couple, I will say, but generally you're going to see that, and we are moving in the direction of those Gen 4 scooters and bikes with interchangeable batteries. So let's go ahead and dive a little bit deeper into the new version of the app, Lime Supply, which is the app that you need to have in order to do tasks for Lime now. It used to be just the standard Lime app, and you could switch between being a user, a rider I should say, and a juicer. Now they just have a separate app, and it's changed up the formatting a little bit. So those battery swap tasks are identified by blue colors on the map, and battery swaps can pay anywhere between $2 to $5 per scooter or bike. On average, it's going to take less than a minute for you to physically swap out the old battery with the new battery. Charging tasks are identified by brown colors on the map, and these are little circles that you can see here. They typically operate with 2 set deadlines, either set 10 a.m. or 7 p.m. depending on when you pick up the scooters. Now this can vary based off location and how that system is set up, so take this as a grain of salt there. The pickup time that I'm typically seeing is 7 hours before that next drop time. So if you pick it up at 11 a.m., you would need to have the scooter charged and dropped back off before 7 p.m. that night. But if you waited till noon, you could have until 10 o'clock the next morning to charge. It just kind of depends on how that goes. And based on what I'm seeing, These charging tasks can pay anywhere between $3 to $6 a scooter or bike based on your location. And for that, I did a separate video breaking down all of the different pay rates for the cities in the United States based back in April. I will link that to here. You can go ahead and search whatever city you're interested in, or all of them, and take a look, see at what you might be potentially earning there. Continuing on, retreat tasks, which is where you're going to go out and pick out those tasks, are identified by red colors on the map. They typically have a 5 to 12 hour window to complete those tasks, meaning when you first pick them up, you have 5 hours or 12 hours to drop them off. And they can pay anywhere between $2 and $5 per scooter, or $2 and $7 per bike. And there are going to be one-offs if they've been out there for a long time. So always be looking out for higher paying tasks because you can make a lot of money doing that. Next up are move tasks, which are pretty heavily incorporated now with the battery swaps. These are going to be identified by green colors on the map, and they typically have a 2 or a 4 hour window to complete them. Most of the move tasks are going to be paying anywhere from $2 to $6 a scooter and $2.50 to $7 per bike. Sometimes if a bike or scooter has been sitting for a long time, we're going to see that task go up to $12 to $10, sometimes $12, depending if you're in Seattle maybe. So there definitely can be a higher pay rate with that. And then the last tasks are going to be deploy tasks, and these are orange colors on the map, specifically located at that warehouse or that line-based location where they're setting them up for you to deploy. And they're going to have typically a 4 hour window to complete that task from when you pick up to when you need to have them out and ready to be used in the city. And they can pay anywhere between $1 to $3.50 per scooter, or $1 to $6 per bike. So a little bit of wiggle room there based off of the area that you're working and how much money they're paying in that area at the time, because it does fluctuate. So these prices might already be outdated. This is just a variation. This is just a snippet of what I have seen in the data that I pulled. So let's go ahead and take a look, see at how we can use the new supply app, the Lime Supply app. First things first, you're going to need to go ahead and download that app. It is Lime Supply app. It is this little icon here. This is the old one. This is going to be the lifeblood of how you complete tasks for Lime, and you can track your earnings in there as well. In the app, you can go ahead and filter between the different specific tasks between scooters and bikes, different versions of the scooters. You can go ahead and filter between what type of tasks you want to complete, whether you want to only retrieve scooters or move scooters, or maybe you only have time to swap out 5 batteries. You can change out all of those things here. There's a plethora of options for you to choose from, and it's really nice to be able to do that. Another cool thing about this is you can actually go ahead and check on the status of your active tasks and your reserved and completed tasks. So you can see what tasks you've maybe picked up already. Say you're moving scooters from one location to another. You can see that you have 2 scooters that you need to move and the time frame that you have left to move them, complete that task. You can see different tasks that you've reserved and what you need to do in order to complete that task. And then it gives a long running list of the last 100 tasks that you have completed, so you can just see if you already completed something or not and verify what's going on there. Another cool thing is you can filter between tasks and drop spots. So if you're only going to be picking up tasks, you can only have that filter on, or you can only do drop spots and not look at those tasks, or you can reserve everything that you're going to do and only look at the reserved, which eliminates a lot of all of the other icons, because it can be a lot if there's 100 plus tasks to be able to filter that out. Let's go ahead and jump into how to pick up Lime scooters and the bikes themselves in the city. So finding scooters and bikes that need to be picked up is incredibly user-friendly with this app. Just make sure that you're in the map view of the app. It has 4 sections down at the bottom there. Just make sure you're on that map. It looks like a little map. With the tasks, you need to make sure the tasks are selected and filtered in the app. Kind of already talked about that. It can happen where you only click reserved and you don't see anything. So if you're looking at the map and you can't see anything, check and make sure that you are on that task icon at the top left. You can reserve a scooter or a bike for up to an hour. Sometimes they will extend how many scooters and tasks that you can reserve at a certain time. But just a caveat off of that, if you do reserve a task and you do not complete it within that time period, you will lose the reservation on it. and you will not be able to reserve that same scooter. So maybe you're like 3 minutes away from getting there on time. You won't be able to reserve it again, and you have to hope and pray that you're going to make it on time and somebody doesn't snatch it up. Also, a second caveat in that is if you fail to complete 3 reservations within a short period of time, typically within the same day, Lime is essentially going to suspend that ability for 12 hours. So if you mess up 3 of them, you're done with that. You can't reserve any more scooters for the next 12 hours, and then it resets and you go on with life. In order to select just a specific scooter or bike, simply touch the icon, the little bubble there that shows what it is, and it's going to give you the specifics of it. The scooters will tell you when the last GPS signal was, when was the last ridden, if it's available, and keep in mind that if the GPS signal is more than a couple hours old, you might struggle to find it. Sometimes they can get thrown in the river, or they just disappear forever and you don't know where they are. Once you get close by to the actual physical location, you can ring the scooter or the bike and it's going to sing you a little song, doo-doo-doo, and it's going to help you identify which one is yours, especially if there's a plethora of scooters at the same location and you need to figure out which one it is. You don't have to look at each individual one, it'll just sing to you. And then to officially claim the scooter and start the process, you're going to go ahead and scan that QR code, which is on the handlebar of the scooters and on the middle of the bikes, and just go ahead and click that pick up button. Let's go ahead and move on to how you drop off scooters, and this can be at different locations in the city or at the warehouse itself. So these Lime hubs, these drop-off locations are going to be marked by black dots on the app, and go ahead and make sure that you have that drop spots selected, icon selected in the map, not the task. You have to have the drop spot selected. This is cool. The feature that I really like about this is it allows you to filter through, and so maybe there's a couple of spots that only have 1 slot open. Well, you can just get rid of those. If you have 3 scooters and you're looking for a spot that has 3 scooters you can drop off, you can filter it right to 3 and it'll eliminate all the other ones. So there's a lot more intelligence behind what you're looking for specifically. So I like that. And you can go ahead and reserve a drop-off spot, a Lime hub, for 1 hour at a time. So if you have 3, you can just pick, and it will save however many slots you need for that, which makes it a lot easier to plan your route, which I highly recommend doing. Once you have selected a spot, the dark circle on the map, on the app itself, is going to show you the outline that where you need to fit the scooters or the bikes into. This can be very, very specific. Sometimes it's a larger circle, sometimes it's really small. You're going to go ahead and scan the QR code, take a picture of the scooters and the bikes, all of them, but not too close and not too far, just enough. And that's going to verify that you have completed the drop-off and make sure that you have good lighting. You're not blocking any sidewalks, ramps, or anything like that. You don't want it hanging off the curb or blocking traffic. And unfortunately, if your drop-off does not meet line standards, they're going to send you an email saying what you could do better with a picture of the drop-off. Let's go ahead and take a look at how you actually do swapping out batteries. So these interchangeable batteries are going to be typically stored and charged in that Lime base, the warehouse that we've been talking about. You're probably going to need to coordinate with your local area manager on what times and dates you can pick up these batteries and what the hours look like on that. That's going to vary based on each area, and that person is going to be your great point of contact to see if you can pick them up or not. Check out the batteries, it's incredibly simple. You're just going to go in and scan. There's a small little QR code on the back of each one of these batteries. You're going to scan it, check it out, load it up, and you're ready to go. When it comes to actually swapping out the battery on the scooter or the bike itself, first things first, you're going to get there, locate them in the map, same thing you would with any other task. You're going to go ahead and scan that QR code, and it's going to be able to start that process. You're going to have to wait a few seconds, and it's going to do the little sing song, and then you're going to hear the scooter release, or the bike release the battery. You're going to be able to take it out, put it on the ground, put in a new one, lock it into place. It's going to do a little thing. It's going to give you the green light, and you are good to go. And all in all, it takes less than a minute to do that battery swap. And then once you're finished with all your batteries and you have all the depleted batteries, you're just going to go ahead and go back to the warehouse, to that Lime base, and you're going to turn them back in. It's going to look a little different based on your location, what the standard operating procedure is for each one. For me, I just go in, there's a table that's labeled drop off old batteries here. Essentially, you put them there and they handle all of the charging and organizing and getting it ready for you to take it back out again. And then you just grab more batteries and you're on the road. So now let's get into the bread and butter. How much money can you make charging Lime scooters now? We already talked about the various prices of tasks that you can earn. This is really going to depend on where you live. Different cities have different pay codes. We're going to take a look at 3 in this particular video. Seattle, Washington, Denver, Colorado, and Austin, Texas, just because we have really good data on them and we're just going to continue with it. So in Seattle, Washington, you are earning $4.50 for a battery swap. In Denver, you are earning $3.50 a swap, and in Austin, Texas, you are earning $2.50 per battery swap. And remember, these prices are going to fluctuate and may or may not be the actual prices today that you are watching this, because the prices change almost daily, it seems, at this point. I did a breakdown here, we can see right here, I did a little breakdown based off of 10 battery swaps either on scooters or bikes that you are completing, just so that we can have an even comparison on this. Breaking down prices from $2.50 a piece to $5 per task. Gross earnings, gas and maintenance, and this is based on an estimated 20 miles round trip, and your vehicle getting 15 miles per gas, and gas costing $3 a gallon. So there's a lot of variables that can impact this. So this is just showing a blanket setting on how much money you could potentially earn, how much you need to set aside for taxes, because you have to pay taxes on this if you're an independent contractor, not if you're an employee. That's going to come out based on them taking out the taxes. But yes, so we have gross earnings, gas and maintenance, taxes, and then net earnings. So we can see that people that live in Austin could earn almost $17 for those 10 battery swaps, and people working in Seattle could make $34 off of those 10 battery swaps. And the more battery swaps and tasks that you complete in a single trip, the more money that you're going to take in, because your expenses are going to go down. If it takes you more and more trips and you're in and out and in and out and in and out, it's going to eat away at those costs and expenses that you're going to have. And you can definitely do more than 10 swaps at a single time. There are a plethora of scooters and bikes out there. Typically, it just depends on your market and the time of day and what's out there, but you can make a decent amount of money with this. So speaking of getting money, let's talk about how you get paid as a juicer. So the good thing about working for Lime compared to other different gig hustles that you could do is Lime pays you out every single day, typically. There's been a couple of days where it's dragged out, but historically they pay you every single day. Lime deposits it directly into your bank account between 10:10 in the morning and 10:15, so 10 and 10:15 in the morning, about a 15-minute window. So if you need money fast, this is a really fantastic way for you to get that the next day. Lime uses Hyperwallet, which is a third-party service that goes ahead and fulfills the payouts from Lime to you directly. And then you get an email every day that lets you track that payment, as well breaking down what earnings you're getting from what tasks. And you can also see that information directly in the app itself. It shows you the earnings and different ways to look at that, and shows you how much money you got from each specific task on each day. So that's really cool. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the backside, what that being the cons of working as a juicer for Lime. So we're going to go 3 on this video here. The first one is that scooters and bikes are not always easy to find. Because we do have rivers and roadways and back alleys and whatnot, it can be hard to find these. They can be hidden, they might be behind a fence, you might not be able to get to them. You can play the game of where are they? I've done a lot of that in my time looking in different places for that. You can ring that scooter or the bike when you're getting close to it, and if you get to a location you're not able to find it, you can report it as missing, or you can report it as broken based on the issue there. The app has it really set up. You can essentially just go in and report, cannot find it, it's behind, it's unsafe, or it's broken and you need to report it as broken. You can do the QR code's broken, the handlebar, anything like that, and go ahead and do that. The downside is that if you are looking for a scooter and you cannot find it, you're not going to be compensated for the time and expenses that you put in trying to find that scooter. So you need to make sure that you're making smart decisions with the time frame that you're looking. If a scooter has been in a location for more than a day or two, 3 days, 4 days, it's probably not there. And it's risky for you to go and look for it unless it's easy on your route. So if you go out of your way to look for a scooter that may or may not be there, and you lose that money, it's going to impact your take-home pay. So just be smart with it. On the other side, if they are there, you can have a really good payout. But you need to be able to make sure that you can cover your expenses without that scooter coming into play. Second con that I am seeing right now is Lime can unreserve a scooter or a bike from you if somebody else wants to use it as a customer. And so they'll send you a little notification and a little note saying that your reserved scooter is no longer available because a customer started using it. So you could be on your route to getting it. You could be a minute away from that scooter and a customer snatches it up and you could lose that. And if there's multiple people using scooters at the same time, you can lose multiple scooters. And that's really frustrating if you're trying to plan a smart and efficient route. So that is a con right there. And then the third con that I am seeing right now is that batteries, those interchangeable batteries, are not always available. I have gone into my own Lime warehouse a couple of times now, and they have not had enough or any batteries available that are charged, ready for me to take out. And so I've had to drop off depleted scooters and leave empty-handed or with only a handful of batteries and then return to get full charged batteries later. And that takes time and expenses for me because it costs me money to drive there and time. So those are my biggest 3 cons that I'm seeing right now. Not in a particular order, I would say. The batteries are probably the biggest one, but you know. So with that being said, do I think that working for Lime is still worth it? Yes, I do think that it is. And let me tell you why. So I'm still operating as an independent contractor right now. I work when I want, how I want, and all of that. I can work as much as I need to, and there's days when I'm like, yeah, I don't want to go do it right now. It's 106 degrees out. I don't want to lift up scooters. And that's one of the great things about it. With the interchangeable batteries, you don't have to have a big vehicle in order to do it. You can just have a car, a very small car or a bike, and be able to do this effectively. Or if you have a truck, you can still go out and do swaps and moves and all the things. The biggest downfall about these Gen 4 scooters and bikes is they are bigger and they are heavier, which means the amount that I can fit in the bed of my truck has gone down significantly. Right now, I can load 7 or 8 easily in the back of my truck. I could put more, but they're heavy. They're like 40 pounds. They're heavy. The batteries themselves are 8 pounds, so they're big guys. But I can load them up in the back of my truck and do battery swaps and scooters at the same time, which makes it nice. In the past few months, I do track all my hours. In the past few months, I've only worked about 20 hours, and I have earned about $450. On average, I'm seeing a return of about $18 an hour, a little bit more than that, almost $18.08 an hour. And that's factoring out expenses, not taxes, because that doesn't come out with that way. And my best day that I've had so far in the last little bit was a 3-hour stint where I made just over $100, coming in $101.50 for 3 hours of work. I had 3 $10 scooters that were right next to each other, and it was beautiful. So I do think that if you are smart and capable and you have the flexibility, you can do a decent return with this. Making $18 an hour just part-time having fun is a really good return on that. That's better than most part-time jobs that you could find at McDonald's or anything else. So it's good in that regard. So how do you become a Lime juicer? Well, it's changed a little bit now. First thing you're going to need to do is download that app, the Lime Supply app, I should say, on your phone, Android, iPhone, whatever it is. And then you're going to need to go to Lime's website. I will link it down below for you. And you're going to have to go through the process of signing up to be a potential logistic partner or just saying that you don't want to be. They're going to give you that option. You're going to go through, give your email. You can make up a business name at this point if you're not going to start a business. It's just one of those catchphrases that they have right now. And when you go through this process, it's going to ask you, are you willing to start up a business? If you're not, click no. but it's going to give you the option to say, would you be okay if we passed along information to a logistics partner in the area and they contacted you directly to work for them, and you can go through that route. So you're going to put in your information and Lime's going to take it from there, and they should, in theory, either consider you and review you as a potential logistics partner to run your own team and do this as a boss type breakdown, or they're going to pass along your information to a logistics partner that they have in the area for them to take you underneath them and be able to work in this, because unfortunately now you are going to need to have a logistics partner information to be able to move forward in the process of this. But if you can find it and you get set up for it, it can be a really lucrative gig for you to do. But yeah, I think that is going to wrap it up for me today. I will show you a little video of what it looks like to swap out the batteries and what that kind of, what that looks like now. But hopefully you guys learned something from this. I would love to hear any questions that you have, and I'll try my best to answer them. And anything that I might not have missed or touched on enough, please let me know. I'm happy to do a follow-up video and just trying to give you the best information that I can find in the most concise way. So let me know if you have any questions. You can hit me up here or on any of my social media accounts, Instagram, Facebook, my personal email address, enduringfinances@gmail.com for this. And yeah, I will see you next time, guys.